your very first time with us, then welcome. And if you are not new here, then welcome back. So today we're talking about running outside when it's cold. As a runner, I definitely welcome the cooler temperatures. It makes my run so much more enjoyable. It beats those hot, humid days here in Texas where I finish my run and I am dripping down in sweat. It just makes it less enjoyable, and you definitely have to time your runs a little bit better just so you can run when it's cooler in the evening or in the morning time before the sun comes up. So let's talk about how you should be running when it's the winter time and what you need to do. My first point is to layer up. This definitely depends on where you live, but if you live in a area or a region where it is a lot cooler, you definitely want to wear multiple layers when you go outside. Now, you don't want to have on too many layers that when you walk outside and you start your run that you are starting to sweat at the beginning of the run. You want to dress as if it's 10 to 20 degrees warmer than the temperature so that you are not instantly sweating. You want to start off your run feeling a little bit cool, but that's because your body temperature is going to warm you up while you're on your run. And so you don't want to be so hot in the beginning that it makes it uncomfortable. I would suggest wearing clothing that has zippers so that while you're on your run, if you feel as though you're getting a little warm, you can adjust the zipper and you don't have to completely stop your run. I would also suggest wearing clothes that are breathable. Yes, you have on multiple layers, but if you get those clothing like the tops, if they have like the WICK resistant in the underarm area so that your underarms can kind of breathe and release some of that heat and you can continue on your run, I would definitely invest in some shirts or some pullovers that you can wear that. I would 1000% have on a hat and some gloves depending upon where you live. I had my hat on at the beginning of the video, but I had to take it off because it was too hot for me. So you definitely don't want to wear a wool hat. I would suggest you getting, again, a hat where you can kind of breathe in and that you aren't losing all of the heat from your body, but your head is still warm. Next, I want to talk about running with limited daylight. I know it is harder to run in the wintertime just because there's less daylight. In the morning time, when you wake up, it's dark. By the time you're headed out the door, the sun is coming up, but you're on your way to work. And then by the time that you're getting off, the sun is starting to go down and you're like, when am I supposed to get this running because there's no daylight and I want to be safe. I don't want to run outside in the dark. Well, there's a few things that I want to give you that you can use so that you can still get your runs in. Some of them may seem silly, but it will allow you to be able to continue running so that you don't have a gap in your running schedule and you're like, okay, well, I didn't run from November all the way to March. That's a long time. And you don't want to fall off your game. So just use some of these things to help you be safe while you're on your run during the wintertime. The first thing I want to say is that you can use a headlamp. I know it kind of seems silly, you're like, I don't want to run with a headlamp on my head, but it is awesome because you can see what's in front of you, you can see what's on the ground while it's dark, and then also cars are able to see, oh, there's a light, there's someone there, so they know. It makes everyone around you aware. Also, you can use reflectors. You can get them on your clothes, you can get them on your shoes. You just want to be visible to the cars mainly so that people know, okay, I see something moving. I want to be sure not to hit this person and they can kind of avoid. So you just want to be visible while you're on your run. They make reflectors for your shoes. There's so many. I'll leave some links below so that you're able to just get some ideas of things that you can use while you're on your run. The next thing I want to talk about is warming up inside of your home before you get ready to go out for your run. Have you ever gotten to the door and that wind or the frigid temperature greets you and you're like, oh no, I don't want to go for this run? It happens. I know I've been there. I do not like the cold personally, so it is very hard for me to get these runs in because I rather be warm, snugly in my home. So in order to keep yourself motivated while you're on this run, one thing I would suggest is warm up inside of your home. You can run up and down the stairs, you can do some jump rope. You want to get your body nice and warm so that when you step outside into that cold weather, those first couple of minutes you're not spending getting warm. You are already warm. So you're able to just keep going on your run and you feel more comfortable because you're already warmed up. It's that immediate like cold that hits you that kind of deters you, like it's too cold, I don't want to do this. But once your body kind of gets warm, you're like, okay, it's not so bad out here, let me just get this run in and get back inside. So I 1000% would suggest warming your body up before you even step outside, so you will already be adjusted a little bit more to the temperature because your body is nice and warm. Now, one thing I do want to mention, that although you're warming up inside of your home, you don't want to do so much that you're breaking out into a sweat. It's literally just to get your body warmed up a little bit, but not so much that you feel like you've already done a whole workout before you even step outside. You don't want to take your sweaty body outside. You just want your body to be warmed up. Next, I want to talk about running shoes. While you're outside, especially in the winter months, I think it's important to note that you may need to switch up your shoes. If you live somewhere where there's ice or there's snow, or you're in an area where there's a lot of rain, I think that it's important to invest in one, a waterproof shoe. You want to make sure that your feet are staying as dry as possible while you're outside getting that mileage in. Now, you can also get shoes that have either non-slip or they have a lot more grip on the bottom of them. You can even invest in some cleat running shoes so that you're able to run and that your feet don't slip while you're running on the ice. It may be ice that you don't see, or even if you're running and there's a little bit of snow. You just want to make sure that you are being safe. You don't want to put your health at risk to get your run in. And definitely you don't want to get hurt while you're on your run. So I think just take a little bit more time, do a little bit of research, and find some shoes that work for you while you're running in a different element. Your summer shoe may not be your winter shoe, and you just may need to have two just so that you can continue to be safe and you can continue to get your mileage in. I think it's important to note that during the winter months, you definitely need to just kind of be a little bit more flexible with not only your mileage but also your pace. Like, it's cold outside, it's a lot of other factors that you don't have to worry about during the summer months. So I think in the wintertime, it's important to just kind of use your days as maintenance so that your body is used to the running. You don't want to just have this large gap where you're not running because of whatever the factors are. It's cold, there's not a lot of daylight outside, and then, here comes spring and you're getting ready to run, and then it's like you're having to start all over because your body is not conditioned to running. So if you just go out for runs and not really focus so much on how far you're going or how long you're going, but you're able to just kind of maintain that rhythm, I think it will make a difference when it comes to spring, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not too far off from where I was last running season because I maintained it throughout the winter months. So just think about that when you're running, and don't be so hard on yourself. Oh, it's 20 degrees outside, I'm not able to get out for my run today. It's okay. You just don't want the entire winter to go by without being able to get some runs in. And then when it warms back up a little bit, then you can start to focus back on that speed work and doing some interval training, getting you ready for, that good running season that's ahead. Next, I want to talk about the wind. The wind can be so strong when you're on your run. Have you ever been on a run and the wind is just blowing in your face constantly? Your eyes are starting to cry. Your nose is running just because that constant pressure of the wind in your face is just having all of these bodily function changes. And so, one thing that I have realized that is very helpful on my run, that just to kind of see if you can gauge which way the wind is blowing. Because when you're running, it can almost sometimes feel like it's knocking you over. So you're having to run that much harder because you're fighting against the wind. So if you can determine which way the wind is blowing, then I would say try, if you can, to run in the opposite direction of the wind. That way it's not as hard. I mean, some people like it to kind of use it as like, oh, well, I'm running harder because I'm going against the wind. But if you don't want all these other things going on, your nose running, your eyes running, if you can avoid it, then I would say to run in the opposite direction. Now, if it's not avoidable and you have to run that direction, then run in the direction of the wind, but do it just for like a little bit, and then turn around so that your back can be against it, so that you don't have to spend your entire run facing the wind. You can kind of continue that cycle, like run in one direction for a little bit and then turn around so you don't have that wind beating you up the entire run. You kind of just have to play with things. I mean, it all depends on where you live, what it is, what it's like outside for that day. If it even bothers you, maybe some people don't even notice it when they're running. They're just like, oh, that's just and one of the elements of running outside, but if I can avoid it, I like to run the opposite direction just so it makes my run a little bit easier. Now, if I do run in the direction of the wind, one tip that I want to share with you is apply a little bit of Vaseline, and you can do it to your nose, you can do it to your cheeks, you can put it on your lips, just so that your skin kind of has that extra layer of protection while you're running outside. It's cold, it's windy, and if you've ever experienced just like a little bit of frostbite, maybe even on your eyelashes, it's so cold, you just want to have that extra layer so that you do not experience that frostbite feeling. So last but not least, I want to advise you that when you are finished your run, to get out of those wet clothes as soon as you possibly can. So while you're running, your body temperature is elevated. And let's say you're outside and you have to maybe, I don't know, go outside or go somewhere else after your run. Your body temperature has now cooled down and it's cold outside, so now you're outside with cold weather and you have on cold clothes. You want to avoid that as much as you possibly can. You want to get out of those cold and wet clothing as quickly as you possibly can. You want to remove all the wet clothing, dry your body off, get some warm fluid into your body, whether that's some hot tea, some coffee, and you need to eat something as well, so maybe some hot soup to warm your body up. You just want to get your body as warm as you possibly can. If you are outside and you didn't choose to wear a hat, maybe you have a hat after, you're like, I can't really run with too many things on. Put a hat on. Now you're all sweaty, so you want to contain some of that heat that's trying to leave your body. Put your hat on, bundle up as much as you can until you can get those wet clothes off. These are all of my tips that I have for you in running in the cold weather. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed today's video. I want you to leave your comments below. Tell me how you do when you're running in the cold weather, and let me know if you have any tips to share with me. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, I want you to like it, and I want you to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And then we will see you next time on The Rundown with Dr. Ciarrah, where we talk about all things running. Have a good week, y'all.